Oklahoma state legislature has approved a bill to make abortion a felony in that state. Now, if it becomes law, doctors who perform abortions could face up to 10 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. This is one of a series of anti-abortion measures that would take effect around the country if the Supreme Court allows them to. Janet Shamlian is in Oklahoma City with more on this story. Janet, good morning to you.
Gail, good morning to you. Oklahoma's abortion clinics have been caring for women from both Oklahoma.
I'm gonna be honest. This shit is so bad. Republicans are straight up using any opportunity that deviates attention away from like state politics and local politics to just implement some of the most insane measures at the state level, like just straight up violation of the Constitution. Like, this is like if every Democratic majority state legislature decided, like, if you have a gun, you are going to get shot on the street. You know what I mean? If you have a gun, we will arrest you. We will take your gun away from you forcibly. Like, it's no different than that. Okay?
Oklahoma and Texas. Since last September, that's when Texas enacted its own sweeping abortion law. And Planned Parenthood here in Oklahoma says patients from Texas have increased 800% since that time. Now women from both states may have to travel hundreds of miles just for basic reproductive care.
Keep your hands off our bodies!
Protesters outside the Oklahoma Capitol Tuesday.
It is a dark day in Oklahoma.
After the Republican-controlled House passed a law banning abortions in the state, resoundingly 70-14.
If you want to get elected, you want to be pro-life. That's the reality in this state.
Oklahoma's bill is the latest in a series of anti-abortion laws passed by Republican-led state governments, including one in Mississippi, currently before the Supreme Court. If upheld, it would overturn Roe v. Wade. Right now, 21 states have laws on the books that would ban most abortions if Roe is overturned. 5 others would likely follow suit.
These laws are doing exactly what they've been designed to do, right? To make abortion providers fearful.
Rebecca Tong is the co-executive director of Trust Women, which runs one of Oklahoma's 4 remaining abortion clinics.
What I'm scared of is that people will not be able to make a decision that fits their life. And it will change the course and direction of their life because of it.
8 more anti-abortion bills are currently making their way through the
Kansas is like, yo, let's go.
Oklahoma legislature. And the governor, Kevin Stitt, says he is prepared to sign all of them.
Up next.
Nate, back to you.
Up next, Kansas.
Janet, thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. It's hard to remember now because...
Okay. We need more of that. I wish America balkanized. I wish America was balkanized by China, Cuba, and Vietnam. What is this? Good news? I mean, not really. That's Colorado, dude. The fuck are you gonna do if you're a woman in Oklahoma? How are you gonna fucking go to the Colorado, dude? This shit is so fucking disgusting. I don't know how else. I don't know what to say other than just like it's just unacceptable. How many times have we had this fucking conversation, man? How many goddamn times? And I'm gonna talk about the most normal fucking pro-life activist. Okay, but here. Oklahoma House has passed the near total abortion ban.
Well, Oklahoma is set to become the latest state to pass a near total ban on abortion procedures. House Bill 4327, as it's called, is waiting for a vote in the state Senate before making its way to the governor's desk. If signed, it would be one of the strictest anti-abortion bills in the country. NBC News Now correspondent Maura Barrett joins us now from the State House in Oklahoma City. Maura, good morning. First, walk us through exactly what is in this bill and what are both sides saying about it.
Well, Vicki, this bill would ban all abortions right after conception, with the exception in 2 cases: if the mother's life is at risk or if the pregnancy was a result of rape, sexual assault, or incest, and those incidents have been reported to law enforcement. And so, as we know, there's a lot of hesitation from women about reporting those kind of incidents. So this is going to limit abortions extremely to an extent that we haven't seen before in other states. And so anti-abortion activists are really excited about this. They're calling it a win, and they're already mapping out their strategy state by state as we look at Roe v. Wade being reconsidered by the Supreme Court this summer. But meanwhile, clinic providers, healthcare providers that conduct abortions are saying that this is just overwhelming facilities, and it also just forces women to travel to states where abortion is allowed. And this means that it's only becoming available to people who can afford to travel, get childcare if they need it, take time off work. And so it's really just forcing women into a more unsafe procedure if it's limited in their states. And so this is something that is on the table here in Oklahoma, but it's also one of at least 7 other bills right now in the state.
That was my next question. Just last year, we talked about Texas, which is right next to Oklahoma. They passed a near complete ban on all abortions in Texas, and that is having a serious impact on medical providers as well in those neighboring states, not to mention the women, as you mentioned, who will now have to travel to get this procedure. What are you hearing from healthcare providers about the rise in patients who are crossing state lines? You know, what kind of effect did the Texas law already have there in Oklahoma?
Well, the Texas law was passed back in September, and since then, Texas saw a 60% drop in abortions. But data from the University of Texas at Austin shows that 1,400 women a month left the state to get abortions elsewhere. That's 12 times more than the abortions that were happening before, and they're going to places like Oklahoma, half of them, in fact, coming here to Oklahoma, and these clinics are just overwhelmed. I want to hear from the medical director at Trust Women Clinic that we spoke to here.
In Kansas and Oklahoma, we're kind of living in what is almost like a post-Roe environment. The sheer volume of people is remarkable. We've had to adjust our phone systems, adjust how we schedule people, adjust our patient caps, and also really pace ourselves for sustainability. We could truly be providing abortions 24 hours a day and not meet the needs of people who already access our clinic.
Remember that time and time again, empirical evidence shows that shutting off access to reproductive health services for women doesn't actually stop abortions. It just makes abortions less safe, because ultimately the pregnant mother is responsible for the life inside of them if they want it to become a life, and therefore can stop it with what is known as back alley abortions, which are very dangerous and can cause permanent damage to the woman. So that's kind of the point. You're not stopping abortions ever. You're just making it harder, and therefore you're killing women and you're giving them permanent scarring. So really dumb and really cruel to push for this. Of course, also rich people will always be able to get abortions. So there's that too. Incredible stuff overall. Why are they okay with abortion if it's rape, incest, etc., but not with consensual sex? Aren't you killing a baby regardless? Yeah. It is intellectually consistent, at least in Alabama, say, no, even if you have a rape child, you still have to carry that to term because, still a life, right? Except it doesn't matter, because it's not. Nobody fucking sees it that way. Yep.
Now, some states are working to combat this state-by-state approach. Colorado, for example, just passing a bill that protects the right to abortions in the state, which would give the ability for people to safely travel to Colorado, for abortions in restricted states like Oklahoma or Texas.
Maura Barrett with an important fight there. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. That off the top at 5, the big story.
This is what happens when you know, you're not going to Oklahoma, but this is what happens when you ban abortions functionally. They would argue it's God's will. Yeah, well, I can't tell you what I wish God would do to those people, so. Because if I did, I would probably get, you know, fucked up. But, oh, inshallah, one day they will see a fraction of the suffering that they have caused.
There's more options to be accompanied, you know, to the pharmacies to get misoprostol, to be walked through the process, and that's a huge benefit. I think if I had known that, I might have chosen to go that route.
Porque no estás como ahí.
Just B-roll, dude. What the fuck? Sure.
There's a lot of things in life that you have to do, and they're the hard thing to do, but they're the right thing to do. There's no getting around the guilt that you feel, but you should never feel ashamed.
Last year, Mia Santiago, a 22-year-old artist from Texas, found out she was pregnant.
I had only been with my partner for a month, and my period's a little late. After about 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, that's too late. I got a nice pregnancy test, and you could see both stripes there. And my heart just sank.
So in that moment, what options did you think you had?
Immediately, I knew I had to get an abortion because I don't have the resources for a baby. I came across
The person who said, you should be ashamed, your mother should be ashamed for not swallowing your demon seed. Instead of bringing your fucking filthy ass onto the planet, you piece of shit.
this group through social media. They've helped a lot of people I know even. They talked me through all of my options, and they talked to me about self-managed abortion.
A self-managed abortion is when a person uses medication to do their own abortion without going to a doctor. Santiago did hers at home.
Why did self-managed abortions feel like the best option for you?
You feel so much safer in your own safe space. You don't want to be in this sterile environment going through something so.
Really nice echo chamber of hate you've managed to accumulate for yourself here. I would literally abort you with a pill if I could, and have you fucking drip out like the heavy flow period if I could. That's what you would deserve, to be honest. That's what you unironically deserve. I wish I could just strap you onto a fucking chair with weight that just sucks up all of your fucking resources for 9 months and completely destroys your hormones, destroys your fucking life. 100%. I wish I could do that. I wish if I had fucking all the power in the world, anyone that's like, yo, you can't control your own body. Sorry, sucks to suck, women. Like, don't be fucking having sex. I would literally just, strap you with this life form that you are supposed to fucking take care of and force you to carry pregnancy is the term. Just take the baby out of your fucking asshole, okay? Rip you into shreds. It's psychotic. You're a disgusting piece of shit. No, not in a fucking video game. In real life, dude, you will never understand. You are just a fucking dumb animal, okay? You are a dumb, baboon-brained, lizard-brained idiot, okay? And you will never understand it. You're an incel who no one wants to fuck anyway. No one wants to consensually have sex with you, so, like, this is never going to be a problem for you, okay? Every day of your existence is already pathetic, and you hate yourself. Your life absolutely sucks. So the only way you can get the only way you can make it feel a little bit better is by like trying to ruin people's days by saying dumbass shit, okay? So they can feel just a fraction of the pain you experience on a daily basis. I'm sure if given the opportunity, if considering you didn't consent to being born, you would have loved for your mother to take an abortion pill. So you would have never had to suffer every fucking day of your life and try to, I don't know, spread that suffering onto others in an effort to make it feel a little bit better for yourself. But it's not going to make it feel better for yourself when you are a disrespectful piece of shit. Okay? Your life is still going to be pain. Every day that you wake up, you are still going to dread every waking moment. Okay? But you can change. The people who are saying projecting is fucking awesome, dude. I love my life. I'm going to be honest with you. You can't simultaneously say I'm projecting and also be like, you're handsome, live in Los Angeles, fuck porn stars, have a fucking nice car and a nice house. Like, you can't literally use those as attacking points against me and then say projection at the same time in the same breath. Which is it? Which is it? I like my life. But guess what? I'm not running around trying to make other people's lives worse. So there is that. Wild to just like stop someone else from having autonomy over their own bodies because of some fucking distorted way that you see the goddamn world, you stupid fucking freak. Holy shit.
So, like, insanely deep and heavy.
How did the group that you contacted help you through the process of the self-managed abortion? What did they do to help you?
My caseworker contacted me consistently to check on me before I made the decision, before they mailed the medication. Every step of the way, they sent me a care package. You know, they sent me a PowerPoint to read and see everything that was going to happen to me. I talked to her a lot on the day that I was doing it. You know, she helped me calm my nerves. Everything I needed to know, they provided that for me.
Until last year, Texans up to 10 weeks pregnant could get abortion drugs from a clinic. But that was before SB 8, the state's...
That chatter's an absolute asshole, but I don't think you need to invent an entire life story for them just to insult them. First of all, even if it was fake, I should absolutely do that, so fuck you. And secondly, I didn't invent a life story. There are a lot of people like this on the internet, and I'm glad that you think it's an invention. It's something that I completely made up in my mind, which means like you're at least somewhat level-headed, and you think like, oh man, this is totally like an invented person. Must be nice for you to think that. Those are very real people, and every single time I have like a rant like this, they get even more fucking deranged. They're like, oh, this is why so many people think I'm like a fucking villain on the internet. Not just because I, defend abortion or whatever the fuck, but the reason why they think I'm a villain is because I will defend it to this degree where I say things that actually are very hurtful. Okay?
6-week clinical abortion ban, and before SB 4, which bans providers from prescribing abortion drugs after...
And no, this person is not just with a confused attitude who needs normal attitude to understand a different point. I'm sorry. I'm going to assume that you're saying this in good faith, but you are not recognizing bad faith people. People looking at a person who is like victimized by Texas's laws and saying, shouldn't have had sex then, fuck you, you deserve to suffer. That person is not like, oh, I have a simple disagreement here, and I wish someone would just sit me down and listen and talk me through it. That person is in here specifically to just, again, do exactly what I'm talking about. Spread the pain and torment that they feel of everyday existence because they fucking hate themselves. Okay? They're just a bad person, a bad human being. They see someone being victimized by structures, and instead of trying to understand what their perspective is, even when it's literally a fucking well-documented Vice video where, like, it's basically designed for you to feel good about this person and side with them. Even in that circumstance, you go, wow, Like, fuck you. You were a whore. You shouldn't have had sex. No one wants to have sex with me, so you shouldn't have had sex with your boyfriend. If that's your fucking take, then you deserve all of the pain and torment that you live every single day. Okay? That's crazy. You deserve to be fucking vilified and hated by so many people around you. And you don't have to. Like, you don't have to have that approach. And you don't have to be vilified. You don't have to be hated. I talk about this all the time as well. You can change. Okay? You can change. You just have to stop dead in your tracks right now. Stop going to the same fucking subreddits. Stop going to the same fucking forums on the internet. And just completely stop doing that shit. Go. Work out. Okay? Like, look towards positive people in your life. Play video games. Get your mind off the fucking toxicity. Stop being in here if you despise me, for example. Stop hate watching. Because otherwise, you are just going to become the school shooter that never ends up fucking following through on his plans, okay? And there are plenty of you in here right now. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So stop. Stop going down that dark, fucking, never-ending well of hatred. You can change your life. Let's continue.
7 weeks of pregnancy, and also bans the pills from being mailed. Under these new laws, Santiago wouldn't go to jail for using these pills, but the people who gave them to her could face more than 6 months in jail and up to a $10,000 fine.
What do you think you would have done without this underground network that helped you?
I definitely still would have found a way to have an abortion, but I'm grateful that there was an organization to help me do this thing that should be free to everyone.
Do you know how this organization gets the pill to you?
The span of it goes across the border.
For decades, Mexicans have come to the US for abortions, just as people in the US have gone to Mexico for the procedure itself or medication. But as the US inches closer to becoming a post-Roe nation, pharmacists in Mexico say they're seeing an influx of Americans.
We're in the town of Nuevo Progreso, right, which is a town that's known for its medical tourism. There's at least 200 pharmacies around here. You can see many Americans shopping.
Now, alongside everyday prescriptions, you'll find pharmacies.
Yelling at people and insulting them is a very useful way to make them change. Try that on overweight people. It works real well. Well, considering how many months you've been in here, 17 months specifically, you also probably have accidentally stumbled across people that literally come in here in donations or come in here in the chat and say, look, man, I came in here as a fucking hate watcher. I shut the fuck up, didn't say anything. Might have even been banned. And I've been unbanned. I've been reformed and I've been unbanned. And I want to thank you for changing my fucking life and changing my attitude. So the people that I yell at aren't fucking random people who are unfortunately a product of their fucking environment and have reactionary points of view. The people that I yell out and the people that I attack are people refuse to see the fucking wrong and the violence that they subjugate and the violence they defend, okay? Or not subjugate, perpetuate. That's the people I'm yelling at. You know this. There are plenty of people in here who've changed their fucking attitudes. Okay? When I slap these psychos in the chat verbally, the reason why I'm doing it is not for them to change. I'm doing it so that other people understand, like, I'm not going to sit here and allow people to spread their filth. Okay? Especially if they're like psychotic fucking deranged people that have literally pushed themselves away from society and specifically engage in like hate following. Some of you think I'm talking about you accidentally when I talk about like being a fucking being a person that is like completely fucking been removed from society, but it doesn't matter because you're not. You at the very least are not spreading hatred to people to make other people's lives worse. So clearly I'm not talking about you. Okay? You're just trying to center this conversation around yourself once again. It is selfish, but, you know, I'll allow it.
Pharmacies advertising for abortion pills.
Oiga, aquí venden misoprostol para los abortos. Sí. 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 ¿Le podemos seguir? ¿Está bien?
Misoprostol, or miso, is approved by the FDA.
Bro, this dude has been asking over and over again, take a week off. Why do you believe sanctions will work in the Ukraine situation? I said, I don't know. I don't think it will. So I don't know what's going on, okay? I don't know why you keep asking it. Is it to clip something? Is it to clip something? Here, go ahead. Clip this if you want. I don't know if the sanctions are going to work on stopping Russia's horrifying fucking war in Ukraine, okay? I don't know. It hasn't thus far. So I feel like it's not working. That's my take. Go ahead, clip it. There you go. You can post it on whatever fucking psychotic subreddit you want to post it on. It'll be like, Hasan is actually in support of Russia.
With another pill, mifepristone, to end a pregnancy. But miso is far more accessible. In Mexico, only certain states sell mifepristone, and in the US, it can only be obtained through specialty pharmacies. When taken by itself, miso works somewhere between 75 and 90% of the time, which is why so many people take it alone.
Misoprostol, ok. ¿Cuántas tabletas hay aquí?
Este trae 28 tabletas, pero se utiliza nada más 10.
Ok. ¿Y más o menos cuál es el proceso?
Ok, se tiene que tomar una por vía oral y deja pasar una hora y empieza por vía vaginal y se toma otra por vía vaginal. Tienen que ser 8 en total.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
Esa vale $60.
Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.
This just cost me $60. If I were to buy this in the United States, it'd be more than $400. I don't need a prescription. One of the interesting things he said is that he wants Americans and he wants people in Texas to know that this is available to them. Hola. Aquí venden misoprostol. Esto es común, o sea, hay personas americanas que vienen aquí a comprar esto.
Así es.
Es común ver a personas que vienen a comprar no uno ni dos, sino como 10, 15, 20, 30 cajas.
Sí, es común para nosotros. Sí, eso sí lo puedes cruzar, no es nada narcotráfico, nada. Lo puedes cruzar.
¿Cuál sería el proceso?
Es 1 por hora. Se tiene que tomar vaginal y lento. Es igual.
O sea, pero hay un número específico de...
No.
So we just went into 2 different pharmacies, and each of them gave us conflicting information about what to do with the abortion pills. That shows you one of the risks of what it means to criminalize abortions in the United States.
Many of these pharmacies are unregulated, and the directions for taking miso aren't always accurate or complete. But making sure people take miso correctly is part of the work of abortion activists in Mexico, who claimed a victory last year when the world's second largest Catholic country decriminalized abortion. Now, some of those same activists are taking their fight up north.
We're about to meet 2 organizers from Necesito Abortar, a group that over the last 5 years...
They're doing... These Mexicans are coming over our border and doing Mexican abortions, brother. What the fuck?
has helped Mexicans access abortions.
They're doing Mexican abortions.
Specifically helping Texans.
Which is worse than the American abortions, of course. What the fuck?
Directly access misoprostol for self-managed abortions. Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy bien.
Bienvenida.
Muchas gracias. Gracias por tenernos.
Adelante. Digamos que una restricción legal nunca fue un obstáculo para poder realizar la labor del acompañamiento. Pues es una red que formamos ya hace 5 años. El primer mes acompañamos 104 mujeres. En un mes.
¿Cómo se ponen en contacto con ustedes las personas en Estados Unidos y las tejanas?
Algunas veces también nos puede...
Republicans look at this and go, this is why it's bad, brother. This is why socialized medicine is bad. It means bad people can get abortion pills, not for $400, but for $60.
Puede recomendar a alguien, pero generalmente es por medio de las redes, aparecen nuestros teléfonos y ya se contactan vía WhatsApp.
Chicas con las que ustedes han hablado tienen miedo del riesgo legal que ellas tengan en Estados Unidos.
Siempre preguntan los riesgos, ¿no? Si es detectable, ¿no? Porque dicen, bueno, ¿y si me tomo las pastillas y luego tengo que ir con mi ginecólogo, ¿no? O sea, ¿cómo le digo que ya no estoy embarazada? Si se puede detectar, si no se puede detectar. Yo les digo, no hay manera Ni aunque te saquen sangre, ni orina, ni muestra de tejido, ni aunque lo manden a la NASA, no existe manera médica de comprobar el uso de misoprostol.
¿Ustedes lo compraron físicamente aquí?
Sí.
¿Cuánto compraron?
No sé.
Tanto que, o sea, han comprado tanto que ni se puede acordar.
Sí, nosotros hemos comprado...
Como asociación facturamos 170,000 pesos.
¿Ustedes temen de cualquier tipo de riesgo legal al que se puedan someter?
Aquí nuestras leyes nos protegen mucho, también tenemos esta facilidad, ¿no? Esta protección legal que México nos ofrece. Y pues vamos a conocer cómo nos va con las tejanas y sobre todo eso, ¿no? Sabiéndonos que ni ellas están solas ni nosotras, ¿no? Sino estamos físicamente acompañadas por nuestras hermanas mexicanas, pero también de muchas maneras por otras, ¿no? O sea, yo he tenido la oportunidad de estar en otros países y estar con otras redes de Latinoamérica. Y de verdad, de punta a punta, desde Argentina hasta Estados Unidos, estamos trabajando hombro con hombro entre lo que se puede.
Como colectivo, ¿ustedes han mandado miso?
The irony is that these people have more solidarity with women on womanhood than most workers do on their own class position. Like they recognize it. They recognize the government's overreaching and the awful legislation and its impact and its consequences. They see it. They recognize it. Femicide is a big problem in Mexico. It's awful. Yeah, that too. What do you mean these people? Like the people on the screen. These people on the screen that you are watching that are straight up not only helping and have won their own legislative battle in Mexico, but are helping American women. Oh, they meant like I meant in a racist way? Yeah, no, I'm famously anti-Mexican as well.
¿A Estados Unidos?
Solo con acompañantes, no como paquetería.
¿Cómo lo trabajan?
Bueno, ya una vez que nos escriben, pues ya primero vemos exactamente qué quieren o qué necesitan y qué podemos apoyar y si es posible que nosotras podamos apoyarlas.
Nos escribieron a Twitter unas compañeras que están en Texas, es un grupo, y ellas estaban buscando misoprostol.
Justamente antes del COVID, ellas pasaban a México, compraban el misoprostol, se lo llevaban, pero después del COVID ya tuvieron problemas para pasar, ¿no?
Lo que ellas comentan es que tienen una persona que puede estar en frontera.
A un contacto de confianza de ellas, ¿no? Por paquetería se les mandó tiene que ser una persona de confianza, sí o sí.
De alguna manera, siempre hay una forma, definitivamente.
Another way Necesita Abortar distributes miso into the U.S. is through local volunteers in border states that cross into Texas. Groups on both sides of the border are forming a transnational network of volunteers that are working around the system.
So this is a bag full of miso. That's a lot.
I mean, someone else I know that I do work with has about this much more at their house.
Activists we spoke to in Texas asked to be totally anonymous and not give their locations for their safety. They help run a state-based all-volunteer team that gets miso to Texans, which is now criminalized under SB4. This group typically goes to Mexico to get the pills or coordinates handoffs at the border.
What's the role of underground networks in this moment?
Right now, it's a lot of people traveling, people raising money to go to Mexico, calling people they know in India and Austria, where abortion pills are manufactured, and stockpile them and distribute it to people safely.
We've been very safe. Our work phone doesn't even have a SIM card. We use safe apps that will encrypt everything for us. We try to stay away of leaving any digital footprint.
Cat's face wasn't blurred. Oh no! It's fucked up. All the cat lovers. Bro, come on. They're fucking smuggling abortion drugs. Of course they have cats. Come on.
Every time I call someone, I document it in a paper, and every so often I shred them and get rid of them.
Who's most in need? I mean, who are you distributing this to?
A lot of people who already have kids. That's my most popular demographic is the moms. It's so wide how many people need help. I mean, the youngest person I've had is someone who's in middle school.
Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.